What's up, guys? It is your boy, I'm up here bringing you another video today, and today, guys, we are finally going to be doing the final top 5 of this month, and probably going to be the final top 5 for a while. The only one that I may update is top 5 attackers, but pretty much everyone else pretty much stays the same apart from this. So let's get into it. Here we go. Top 5 best sub-attackers in the game currently. Now, I want to say, too, is that I will be showing you mostly on this game because I do have most of them. I don't have all of them. Like, for example, I don't have some of the Awoken counterparts to them. I have, their 5-star, but I haven't awoken them yet. So, yeah. But I will say this, is that we will be showing you all of them. Also, I want to say, too, is that this is constantly to the top 5 attackers, where I did one of each element. I'm going to do that for this one, too. The only element that isn't included is Earth, because I just don't feel like Earth has a very good sub-attacker. People consider Finn a very good sub-attacker, but he's more of a support unit. He's not really a sub-attacker, so, yeah. Let's get into this. So, coming in at the number 5 spot is Malia, but not just Malia. Let's actually flip it over to the display, and I will show you who else is also in the top 5. Rima will also be the other unit that is considering taking this top 5 spot as well. We'll talk about each of them in just a second, but we're going to cover Malia first. So why is Malia and Rima both here for the dark units? It's because both of them are very strong sub-attackers. Rima applies a very good, strong debuff with her True Art. Malia applies a really strong True Art with hers, and not only that, it also has a ton of damage, and it does just a ton of damage, because the whole thing about sub-attacker is not only is it doing just damage, it's also giving you a buff of some kind, which is really good, or a debuff, or doing both, applying a debuff and a buff at the same time. So that's kind of what a sub-attacker is. Even though people like Regulus, who give you crit chance, he's still an attacker, he doesn't count as a sub-attacker. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's a very weird topic, it's very weird category that they're in, but still, it's just pretty much think of it as an attacker that also buffs a unit. So yeah. So, Malia, let's cover her real quick and let's talk about her. So, her first ability right here is God Kill level 9, increase damage to gods by 90%. Really good against any god unit, including Og, because Og is a god unit. So, Og in the raid, she will do 90% more damage to him, which is really good. Moving on from that, too, we have Auto Barrier, up to 2,000 damage negated for 10 seconds when damage taken during near death can be activated in 60 seconds. So, every 60 seconds, if you take damage and you get near death, which is when your health bar from Malia turns red, you will negate 2,000 damage, which is really good. And then you have Healing Magic Circle, regenerates all allies HP by 10. So every second you're just going to be constantly regenerating everyone HP. So it's a little bit of a heal, not too much though, nothing crazy. Now moving off that, we have her skill, which is 2,200% Dark Damage Magic, heals own HP by 2%, 9-second cooldown, 1k break. Not really anything special, but it does give her some sustain. But her HP isn't really that high. It's about around, like, with Dark Relic on, it's about around, like, I think, like, what, 8k, I think, or about, like, 8.5k, I want to say, maybe 9k, with Dark Relic on, and, yeah, so don't really expect her to be healing, like, a ton, like someone like Rags, for example, but you just still do well. Her normal art is 2,000 break, 13,800% Dark Damage Magic, fill all allies skill gauge to max, increase all allies BE output for 50 seconds for 4 seconds chance to blind enemies. So this right here is pretty solid for a normal art. Increasing your BE output by 50% for 4 seconds can kind of be a really good way to gain a ton of BE. If you don't know what BE is what fills your art gauge, and using your normal art like this, you could technically use it as somewhat of a second X marks the spot, because X marks the spot, this is what makes X marks the spot so good, because it increases your BE output. So yeah, you can kind of use this as a second X marks the spot, or like if you don't have X marks the spot, then you can do this. But the Ruin Rolly event, I think, is currently here, so I recommend farming that if you are new to the game, and get that X marks the spot as soon as possible. So yeah. Also, I wanted to say too, you really won't be using the normal art a lot, not really, maybe just to do like some extra damage, because the whole thing about Malia and also Rima is most of the time they're used on nuke comps, which is the entire thing really about dark teams. Dark teams really just want to do a ton of damage. They're not really trying to survive for a very long time or anything. They just want to do a ton of damage and just kill the boss as fast as possible. So yeah. Then we're on to her True Art is 28,400% Dark Damage Magic, drains 20 of enemy art gauge, and increases all allies magic damage by 50% for 10 seconds. So what does it mean when you drain 20 enemy art gauge? So whenever you drain 20 of the enemy's art gauge, that means the little balls that pop up like under the enemy's health bar, which, once that is completely filled, they do their art. Well, Malia will take away one of those that are filled. So each one counts as 20, and she'll take away 20, and she'll take away one. So she can completely negate someone's art. Like, you can pretty much not negate, but you can pretty much postpone someone's or an enemy's art gauge. So that's really good. Also, increasing all allies magic attack damage by 50% for 10 seconds is really good, considering that she also gets the buff as well. well, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then this can be even further increased with something like Magical Hat or Alma's Hat from the anniversary event. So, you know, you got magic damage 20% plus the 50% from her True Art, meaning that Malia can do around 70% increased damage during her True Art, which is really good. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing why Malia is really good. She just pretty much does a ton of damage. And yeah, with her, you more likely want to be using Rim. So I also want to put Rim in the same spot because Rim is also pretty much goes hand in hand with Malia. And if you're using her on a dark team, more than likely your dark team is probably this Rags, Regulus, Rim, and Malia, more than likely. So yeah, so let's move over to Rim real quick. We talked about Malia. Also, Malia slots are pretty good. 5-star physical. I said 5-star physical. 5-star magic, 5-star magic, 4-star support. So very good slots overall. So let's move on to Rim real quick and talk about Rim for just a little bit. Nothing crazy. But yeah, so her skill is 2,000 dark magic damage, appearance of BE by own skill 50% up, break force 800. Normal art is 13,000% dark magic damage, 15 seconds, enemy weak points damage 40% up, attack power, defense power 35% down, break force 1300. And then True Art 25,000% dark magic damage if the enemy is light attribute, own art damage 100% up, break power 3000. Now OP, why is she good? Because this doesn't really seem good. She has the same True Art as like someone like Xenon, or not Xenon, but Rayon. The reason why she is good is not really so much for the True Art, but more so for the Normal Art. The Normal Art increasing the enemy's weak point attribute increases your damage a lot, and not only that, you're also lowering their defense by 35%, which really doesn't matter because on a dark team you're going to be already lowering, or if you're going to well, on a dark team you're going to be having crit going off, which if you have crit going off, defense doesn't matter at all. So yeah, but still, this is still really good. Her True Art is even really good as well, just to do like a ton of damage as well. But more than likely, Normal Art is gonna be, it's just a really strong debuff, and that's why a lot of people use her. Not only that, her slots are fantastic. That's why they use her in nuke compositions. And not only that, let's also talk about her abilities. Alchemy restores 2% of all allies friends when using equipment. So every time you use equipment, you're gonna restore 2% of someone's HP. We have Astrology, 20% to 40% up. So what this is according to each day, so whatever corresponds with the day corresponds with what you get. So if you have, for example, if it is Water Day, you get 20% up damage. I think you can get 40% up earth damage, right? And then 40% resistance or something like that. It's something like that with that. So yeah, pretty much whatever day it is would correspond with what she buffs. Okay, so yeah. And the next is Magical Power Amplification, 10% up magical damage of all allies as a whole, so everybody gets a huge magical buff with 10%, and also magic damage of all allies 15% up. So she's giving a total of 25% magic damage up, including Malia's 50% right here. So you can imagine that that is definitely a very good solid 75% damage buff, which you can see why she does so much damage, or those two do so much damage on the same team together. And not only that, like I said before, her slots are absolutely fantastic. 5-star magic, 5-star support, and then 4-star defense. Pretty much makes it to where Rim can use something like Type 0, Rim can use something like you know, LDH, Malim's Jacket, anything like that, even Chrono, and you will be doing a ton with her. So yeah. But guys, that is the number 5 spot. Let's get into the number 4 spot before we go on any further. The number 4 spot, we're going to have LeAnn here. LeAnn, of course, being the goddess that she is for the fire units. Oh, she's not a god. She's just, I called her a goddess, but you know, she's a human, but she's not a god. But still, she is absolutely amazing on mono fire. Pretty much even with most teams, I say that she has a staple slot on your team unless you're just trying to like nuke the boss or something like that. If you're not trying to do that, then dude, this girl is absolutely insane. She is so good in this game, and yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite units in the game too. I just don't use her that much because I pretty much only use her against earth units, and yeah, she doesn't do like a ton of damage, but she is really good. So yeah, so let's talk about what she does. So for her first ability is auto recovery level 7, auto recovery of own HP by 14, hit count, stores hits of skills and arts, and increase own action speed, increase all allies damage, and then burning mastery, reduce all allies burn and freeze time, increase evasion rate by 30%, increase crit chance by 50% when enemy is burning. Really good on mono fire because more than likely all of your units will be able to burn the enemy on mono fire, which makes it very, very good. Moving on from that, we have her skill ignite, 2600% fire damage physical, skill would not be canceled by damage from enemy, so you cannot be canceled from your skill in any way, shape, or fashion. The only way how she can be canceled out of her skill is she is fainted, so keep that in mind. Her normal art is 12,200% fire damage physical, chance of burn to the enemy, increases own skill CT by 60% for 10 seconds, 2300 break, and then her true art is 20,900% fire damage physical, high chance to burn the enemy, resets own hit count, increase all allies art gauge max 99 up. So the way how her true art works is depending on what your combo counter is, depends on how much art gauge you get back. So for example, in the game, LeAnn has a little combo counter beside her head. Whenever that combo counter, if it reaches 99, that means if you use your true art, you will give everyone on your team 99 art gauge. So it is really good. Also, the high chance to burn the enemy is pretty much guaranteed from what I've noticed. Also, I want to add too is that her normal art is very good. The way how you use her normal art is you use this if you were trying to build up your combo counter. Your normal art will build up your will instantly start refilling your skill gauge like 60% faster. So you use your normal art, and every time you hit, you'll get a counter towards your hit count, and then you use your skill, and then you keep getting counters. And I would only recommend really using your true art if you're about 40 combo or above. I would say that's pretty good. If you're not 40 or above, then it's kind of like useless. Also, not only that, keep in mind too that the more this is increased, the more damage that you will do. I don't know if it's like a percentage of damage, like I don't know if she gets to 99, technically everyone on your team is doing 99% more damage. It wouldn't surprise me if that's how it works, but still, that is very, very solid, and she is a very good unit in this game. So yeah, definitely deserves a spot on your mono fire team if you're going to be using her. And yeah, she's really good. She's pretty much, if you want to do the plant boss very easily, very smoothly, you can use LeAnn and she'll be your girl. She's just gonna do a ton of work for you. So yeah, now that is it for LeAnn. I don't want to keep on dragging this video on for too long, so moving on to the number 3 spot. The newly announced Weaver is coming in at the number 3 spot. Skill is 1800% water physical damage, heals own HP 120, art gauge 8 up, break power 1300. Normal art is physical damage 13,000%, water attribute, art gauge of all allies 20 up for 20 seconds, negate 2,000 damage, really good. And then his true art is 31,000% water physical damage, 13 seconds, enemies water attribute resistance 30% down, crit damage of all allies 50% up, break power 5,500. So this guy is absolutely ridiculous with his kit, with his skill, his normal art, and his true art. Pretty much a lot of people probably say, well, he doesn't have any way to give him crit chance. Well, with the Blood Knights coming to global, he does, because the way how you will use him on a mono water team, more than likely this will be your mono water team. You will have Weaver, Vox, Rimuru, and then probably like any other water unit, maybe Laplay or something like that, and you will be perfectly fine. Pretty much Rimuru will increase everybody's damage because they will increase everybody's crit damage, and Vox will get everybody crit chance, and then at the same time Weaver will be lowering their water resistance, which we all know how strong lowering someone's resistance is. So yeah, it's very, very good. Not only that, his abilities kind of complement him as well. He has 20% crit chance on his ability, and he also has BE appearance of water attributes. So on water teams, he kind of wants to be on them because he's going to increase the BE appearance, so how much BE you see. So yeah, it's very good. And also I want to say too is that this does not duplicate with someone like Corsair, for example. I think since his is water BE appearance level 3 and Corsair's water BE appearance level 4, if I'm not mistaken, Corsair's will actually outweigh his if you're using Corsair on the same team. So I actually don't think that it's going to increase it by like, what, 35%? I don't think that's the way how it works. I think Corsair will be the one to override it, and it will only be a 20% buff with his ability. So keep that in mind. Also, his equipment is very solid. If you don't want to use Vox, or if you can't hit Vox, or the case may be, you do have options with this guy. He has 5-star physical, which, Curse Light Sword, 5-star support. If you want to do something like crit chance, or if you want to do art gauge, or whatever the case may be, you can do that with the 5-star support slot. 4-star support slot, you can do the same thing, art gauge or crit chance for your team, and then boom, he is perfectly able to give that crit chance buff off to you guys. So he is a very strong unit. Pretty much I would recommend this guy on any water team because he's going to be increasing your damage a ton. Pretty much his true art is the equivalent of, I want to say, Regulus's true weapon, but for water units. It is a little bit nerfed because Regulus's true weapon does do 50% dark resist down, and this guy only does 30%, but still, you're going to be making every single water unit hit so hard in this game. And not only that, you really don't even need this guy to be on a water team. For example, if you are using him and Vox alongside each other, which I'm assuming most people will be doing, is that you can use him, Vox, Mako, and Finn on the same team and do absolute work with them. So, hey, he's really good. He's really good. And not only that, he doesn't have to be on a water team. He can be on any other team that gives crit chance. For example, you can put him alongside Regulus and increase Regulus's crit damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a ton of stuff. You could put him alongside a ton of units that have crit chance built into their kit. You can even put this guy on a water team to keep it a whole beam, but still. I said water team, a fire team with LeAnn. So, yeah. Weaver comes in at the number 3 spot this time. Coming at the number 2 spot is Berwick, the boy. Not really, he's ugly, but still. So, Berwick. Why isn't he number 1? And we'll talk about that once we get to the number 1 spot. Berwick is amazing though. One of the best, if not the best fire unit in the entire game. Not only is this guy a sub-attacker, he can pretty much damn well be an attacker because how much damage he does. He just does damage for no reason. So let's talk about it real quick. We have his skill, 2200% fire magic damage. You have a chance to burn with probability, break force to 1000. His normal art is 14,400% fire magic damage. Art gauge of all allies 25 up. Furthermore, if they are fire attributes for 10 seconds, they get an additional 2 art ups for 10 seconds. So yeah, if you're fire attributes, you get 25, and then, well, if you're any other unit, you get 25 art gauge instantly. But if you're a fire attribute, you're going to get 2 art gauge for 10 seconds as well. So you're going to get a total of 45 art gauge if you are on a fire team with, you know, all mono fire, or not only that, if you just have a fire unit on your team, which is really good. And then his true art, once you activate this one, you enter the Magia drive. Once you're in Magia drive, this is where the fun starts happening. This is where you can use your overpowered true art, which is 37,000% fire magic damage, damage 50% up for all allies. Furthermore, if the allies are of the flame attribute of the fire nation, you can increase their damage by another 50%, meaning they get a total of 100% damage buff, which is absolutely insane. Break force 4k. Not only that, this guy is an absolute earth killer. He kills anything that's an earth unit. This guy has earth killer, level 5, damage to earth units 25% up, water resistance level 5, water resistance 25% up. So he pretty much negates the water damage. So if you did not know in this game, if you are at a type disadvantage, you take 25% more damage, but or not 25%, you take 20% more damage. Berwick negates that. He's no longer at a type disadvantage when he is receiving damage. However, when he is dealing damage, he still is at a type disadvantage, so keep that in mind. So, and then also his final thing is his Crimson Liberty. Once he is in Magia Drive, this is what will happen. Once you activate Magia Drive, 200 art gauge up, own crit rate 100% up while in the Magia Drive state, and you get art gauge 3 naturally. So every second you'll be getting 3 art gauge while in Magia Drive. You'll be getting 100% crit chance and 200 art gauge up. That is absolutely ridiculous. So you can instantly go back into your true art as soon as you use it and do some deeps, boys. Not only that, his equipment art is really good for what he is. 2 5-star magic slots and a 4-star support slot, meaning that you can put on 2 Alma hats for this guy, meaning that you will increase his magic damage by 40%. And then not only that, you're gonna have freaking backup level 4. So this guy will have 40% magic damage up, and then a 4-star support slot, meaning you can use something like Keon, Rude Magus versus the new support item coming from his event, anything like that, and this guy's gonna do work. This is why Berwick is number 2. He is the best fire unit in this game. There is no doubt about it. This guy just does damage, and you should put him on your mono fire team if you are going to be using him. Pretty much a lot of people have been talking about too that the best nuke comp probably now will be Berwick, Benimaru, and then 2 Milims from what people are saying, which I can definitely see it if that is the case. So yeah, it's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. If you got Benny as well and you also pull Berwick, the damage is gonna be absolutely absurd. So Berwick comes in at the number 2 spot. Finally, for the number 1 spot, let's get into this. The final number 1 spot is the goddess Athena herself. Now, I want to say this real quick, is that don't copy my my crest. For the love of God, don't. I was just doing crest dungeon, I got a crest, and I was like, you know what, I'll just keep it. But this girl is hands down still, I think, the best sub-attacker in this game. Not only is like, she doesn't really do damage at all, really, to be honest. She's not going to do any insane amounts of damage for you. The thing that Athena provides for you is probably one of the best buffs in this entire game. It is completely negates all status elements except feints, and it gives you HP recovery 300 for 20 seconds. This can keep your team alive so well. Not only that, Athena has innate art gen, meaning that she will be able to get 2 art gauge every second when wielding her true weapon. So she has that built into her kit. Not only that, her true weapon will heal you based on the damage that you receive. So the more damage that you take, your true weapon will heal you whenever you activate it. So that is really good. Also, Athena's just kit all around is just amazing. I definitely feel like she is the best, still is the best sub-attacker in this game. But if we were talking about raw damage output, then the boy Berwick takes that home. you know, so much more than Athena, but I still do think that Athena is the best sub attacker in this game. So let's talk about her kit real quick if you guys don't know what she does. Her first ability is Divine Light, negates stats elements except feint while HP is over 80%. Demon Kill level 8, increased damage to demons by 80%, and then revives fallen allies with 33% HP just once, and then the skill is 9-second cooldown, 1k break, 2600% light damage magic, gradually restores own HP. Her normal art is 11,500% light damage magic, negates all stats elements for 10 seconds except feint, 2600 break, and then her true art is 22,500% light damage magic, 4.5k break, heals and evades all ally stats elements except feint and HP auto recovery by 300 for 20 seconds. Not only that, her equipment slots are really good: 5-star magic, 5-star physical, and 4-star support, meaning that for 5-star magic you use her true weapon, 5-star physical you use Curse Light Sword, and then for 4-star support you use something like Keon or any type of art gen, and you are going to be absolutely golden with her. Goodness, dude, this girl is absolutely ridiculous. She is probably the whole reason why I am able to do so good in raids sometimes, because she can single-handedly keep me alive. In the harder content in the game, her and Mako can keep me alive like it's nothing. So this girl is absolutely amazing. One of the best buffers slash sub attackers in this entire game, and she definitely deserves his #1 spot in my opinion. Now, I know a lot of people may disagree with me, like I said, and say Berwick is better than her now, but still, I value the utility over anything in this game. And also, Berwick is very, you know, versatile as well. Berwick is versatile, same thing with Athena. Athena and Berwick can be put on any team and do work, because no matter what, they are still going to give their buffs to any element. It doesn't matter. But still, I still believe that overall, Athena will be doing you the most work, because yes, at the end of the day, damage does matter, but staying alive matters more in these events, boys. So yeah, guys, that is the final top 5 for the month of February. Thank you all for coming out, man. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this and everything. So yeah, so this will probably be coming out on the day of maintenance, which will be meaning that the Blood Knights will be coming out tonight, meaning Berwick and Reaver that was on the list will be releasing later tonight. So guys, I hope you guys have fun, and I hope you guys also get lucky and are able to pull those units. Also, I want to mention as well, I think maybe Og may be a demon now. now since I thought about it, I think the Og may be a demon and not a god. So yeah, I'm not actually for sure. You guys tell me down in the comment section, is Og a demon or a god? Because isn't Og like the demon god technically? So is he both? So yeah, but yeah guys, that is going to be it for the video today. Thank you all for coming out, man. I appreciate it so much. Also, I want to say real quick too, is that thank you guys so much for the subs and the views and all that coming out recently. Dude, I think we just hit, no lie, I think we're about to hit 3.8k or even more. I have to check it out. On the channel. It's absolutely ridiculous. We are about to be at 3.9k, boys. That is absolutely ridiculous. You guys have been killing the absolute support on the channel recently. You guys have been getting literally above like 3 to 5k views every single video, which is absolutely ridiculous. You know, that's not really heard of for a channel of my size, so I am very grateful that you guys are enjoying the content and all that. So yeah guys, tell me what you thought about this top 5 sub attackers list. Tell me if you would change anybody's position or anything like that in the comment section below. Apart from that though guys, I wish everybody luck tonight on their summons for Berwick and Weaver, and all their summons going forward with freaking the Blood Knights. So yeah guys, also I want to mention too is that tonight we are going to be streaming on Twitch. We stream every night on Twitch at 7 p.m. CST, except on Saturdays, so make sure you guys are there hanging out. I'm going to be streaming until maintenance. So yeah guys, it's been your boy P. Thank you all for coming out, man, and I'm out guys. Peace.